The Department of Information and Communications Technology orders the mandatory unlocking of devices for mobile postpaid subscribers. The Philippine National Police keeps gun muzzle sealing anew this holiday season.
And I feel like I've been given a big microphone, which is amazing. It fulfills me so much that I have this opportunity, and I always want to use it to further my cause.
And Miss Universe 2018 Katriona Gray vows to help raise awareness on the plight for youths and push for the establishment of more HIV/AIDS testing centers in the remote areas in the Philippines. Good evening. The Department of Information and Communications Technology orders the National Telecommunication Commission to make phones unlockable after its initial lock-in period. But according to an Information and Communications Technology advocate, this measure is not enough to improve the telecommunications service in the Philippines. Monokson tells us why.
The Department of Information and Communications Technology has ordered the mandatory unlocking of mobile devices of postpaid users after the lock-in period. DICT signed last December 14 the Memorandum Order Number 004, which orders the National Telecommunications Commission to promulgate rules and regulations that will require telcos to unlock their subscribers' mobile devices once the lock-in period is completed. These measures are needed to give consumers flexibility in choosing a mobile service provider. Mobile subscribers Yam Escala has already completed her service provider's initial lock-in period. However, she is still struggling to unlock her phone. She wants to switch networks as she cannot fully use her mobile phone at home due to poor signal.
Nahirapan akong ipa-unlock kasi alam ko may bayad din ata yung pagbaba-unlock. So, gagastos din ako. So, no choice din ako.
The department order requires telcos to provide the user or subscriber greater freedom and flexibility to choose their preferred wireless service providers. The memorandum, however, clarifies that the order covers subscribers with no outstanding obligations in their subscription contracts. Pierre Tito Galia, an information and communications technology advocate, lauds this move by the government. However, he said such order is not enough to say that Filipinos will get the best internet and telecommunication service they deserve. Galia notes a legislative move must be done in order to improve the country's telecommunications industry at present. His suggestions include amendments in the Open Access Data Transmission Act and the Spectrum Management Reform Act, among others.
Limited naman kasi tayo, limited yung terms of reference dahil sa existing laws na kailangan amyendahin. Dahil nga, for example, kulang ang frequencies, ang spectrum, kailangan natin ng Spectrum Management Reform Act. Very priority yun.
Should this be realized, he says the Philippines could have at least 4 to 5 telcos that can help improve wireless service in the country. Unless the law is amended, thousands of Filipinos will not be able to have access to the internet. That means around 12,000 barangays across the country will fall behind other areas in 2024 due to lack of internet connection as a result of lack of infrastructure and limited wireless frequency. Mon Hokson, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Philippine National Police eyes zero case of indiscriminate firing this holiday season amid plans of foregoing the gun muzzle sealing of its personnel for the third year. Grace Casin tells us why.
Like in the past 2 years, the Philippine National Police will skip the gun muzzle sealing activity for this holiday season. According to PNP Director General Oscar Albayalde, this is to show that policemen are disciplined and can be trusted not to illegally discharge their service firearms during the holiday revelry.
Medyo napapahiya tayo kapag nakakakita sila ng pulis na merong masking tape sa dulo. No, tinatawanan tayo kung minsan. No, bakit kailangan nating i-masking tape yung baril? Where in fact, kung talagang gusto mong iputok yun, pwede mo rin tanggalin yung masking tape.
Albayalde says they're also eyeing to achieve 0 case of indiscriminate firing involving policemen like last year. The PNP chief warns that cops may be facing appropriate charges and may even be dismissed from service if they illegally discharge their service firearms during the celebration. Their immediate superior will also be sanctioned.
We have cautioned over and over and over again yung aming mga personnel not to indulge in indiscriminate firing. Otherwise, that will mean their immediate dismissal from the service.
Albayalde, meanwhile, will leave the regional directors to decide on whether or not to require all personnel to go on duty this holiday season. However, the PNP chief assures he will still conduct random inspections to ensure that policemen are not neglecting their stations. Grace Caston, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Department of Health reminds the public anew to exercise caution when using firecrackers during the holiday festivities. JL Asayo tells us why.
Hospitals are getting ready for the merrymakings this holiday, especially in welcoming the new year. As early as today, the Department of Health is making sure that emergency equipment, tools, medicines, and staff at Tondo Medical Center are all set to receive patients. The said hospital is the main destination for the fireworks and pyrotechnic victims coming from Manila, Navotas, and Caloocan during the year-end revelry.
Ang mga pasyente po namin dito sa ospital sa nakaraang 3 taon, wala naman po talagang na-admit. Puro mga minor injuries lang. So mga minor operations lang po ang ginawa namin.
The hospital record shows significant decline in the number of admitted fireworks-related victims from Manila in the recent years. From 41 in 2015, the number declined to 29 in 2016 and 24 in 2017. The DOH hopes that there will be fewer fireworks-related victims this year. Australia noted, however, that the hospital has not received victims of stray bullets or fireworks poisoning since 2015. Executive Order No. 28 Series of 2017 regulates the controls and use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices in the country. It also bans the use of strong and harmful firecrackers such as Watusi, Piccolo, Super Lolo, Atomic Triangle, Judas Belt, Large Bawang, Pillbox, Goodbye Philippines, Mother Rocket, Lolo Thunder, Bin Laden, Plapla, Giant Whistle Bomb, and other giant unlabeled firecrackers.
Sa kagawaran ng kalusugan, gusto natin malusog kayo. Sana sa amin total firecracker ban, pero gusto natin magsaya, tapos yung mga industry ay gusto namang kumita ng konti, kaya iwas paputok lang. Kaya ang ini-encourage natin ay fireworks display.
The DOH strongly reminds the public, especially parents, to tell their children not to pick up unexploded fireworks to prevent harm. The agency likewise reminds households to double-check the surroundings area for the fireworks display to avoid fire and other untoward incidents. JL Asayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
The Civil Service Commission has reminded government employees to avoid accepting gifts, doing solicitation amid the celebration of the holiday season. Mai Bermudez tells us why.
With the coming year-end also comes the season of parties, exchange gifts, and raffles. But for an employee and a government official who serves the nation, the Civil Service Commission says there are rules against accepting and asking for favors from the same exact people that you are working for.
Hindi pwedeng mag-solicit ang government official or employee, no? Lalo na doon sa kanyang mga ahensya na kinakailangan yung kanyang aksyon, no? So, hindi po pwede yon. At hindi rin naman pwedeng tumanggap, no, ng mga regalo o mga pabor. Higit lalo kapag yung nagbibigay, no, maski ito ay voluntary, ay meron siyang inaasahang kapalit mula dun sa government worker.
Based on Republic Act 6713, This includes asking for gifts exceeding nominal value and conducting Christmas carols on individuals who are not related to the employee. CSC says accepting presents may also become a big problem, especially if there are pending permits being processed by the agencies, which may taint the integrity of their transaction. If these come from foreign governments, Congress allows accepting small gifts as souvenirs or as act of courtesy, a gift in form of scholarships, fellowship grants, or medical treatment, and travel grants as long as it will not affect the country's interest.
Well, meron tayong tinatawag ng nominal value, ano? Matatansya mo naman kung yun ba ay malaki, maliit, yun ba may impluwensyahan ka doon sa ibinibigay, no? Dapat ang tatandaan natin, walang client-public servant relationship, no?
But what if the government worker was invited to a private party, won the raffle, or offered to accept a huge amount or gift?
Baka naman yung sinasadya, no? Tiyakin mo yon. Pero kung sakali man nanalo ka at sa pakiramdam mo, hindi ka rapat-dapat, no? Although ito ay raffle, maaari mo namang i-waive. Huwag mong tanggapin.
If a violation is proven, the employee or official may face removal from service.
Dito sa ating Section 50, no? Sa Rule 10 of the 27 Rules on Administrative Cases in the Civil Service, nakalagay doon, violation of this provision is a grave offense, no? And is punishable by dismissal from the service.
Mai Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The recruitment and deployment of Filipino English teachers by tertiary educational institutions in China is now possible following the issuance of its implementing guidelines. The guidelines released by the Department of Labor and Employment spells out the Memorandum of Understanding that the Philippines and China signed last April. For qualifications, interested Filipino teachers must be employed in private higher education institutions in the Philippines or those not currently employed in public institutions in the country. In terms of education, an applicant must have obtained a bachelor's degree in education or English language from the Philippine educational institutions accredited by China's Ministry of Education. They must also have a valid certificate of registration above intermediate level and a professional license issued by the Philippine Board of Licensure Examination for professional teachers. An applicant should have not been charged or convicted of any crime or administrative offense, is in good health condition, and has no mental problem or pernicious habits such as drug addiction and excessive drinking. The Philippine Embassy and its consulates in China shall serve as the contact window to address and resolve all concerns pertaining to the hiring and deployment of teachers and those that may arise on site, while the POEA will provide adequate support in the recruitment and documentation of Filipino teachers applicants. Miss Universe 2018 Katriona Gray details in a one-on-one interview with UNTV News and Rescue in Bangkok, Thailand, some of her reasons why she wanted to pursue programs that would benefit children from slum areas as well as promote awareness on HIV/AIDS. Kat Dumaraos will give us details in this report.
Newly crowned Miss Universe 2018 Katriona Gray plans to immediately start working on her advocacy, which is specifically on providing education for the poor children and HIV/AIDS awareness. During a one-on-one interview with the UNTV News and Rescue in Bangkok, Thailand, days before the coronation night, the 24-year-old beauty queen laid out her plans to pursue projects that she started a few years back. Gray says she has been working with a local group that has been helping poor children from Tondo in Manila. In fact, some of the kids appeared in a music video that she produced to highlight her advocacies prior to the Miss Universe pageant finals.
Well, I just hope that at this moment, I've really put out material that I hope could have reached more, which is why I timed it in this way. So the work that I've done with Young Focus in Tondo, Manila in regards to education, I actually put out my first original song. And I was the creative director and everything for the music video that we filmed in Tondo starring some of the kids in the program. So that was my main campaign.
Gray says she wanted to change how people see the children of the slums in Tondo by providing them proper education. Instead of being associated with trash, foul smell, and violence, Gray says she wants people to see them just like any other children who deserve care and help rather than pity and mockery.
To raise awareness and to also move people to donate. And it was really important to me to project them in a very uplifting light. I didn't want the viewer to be, pity and poverty and trash. I wanted them to see kids being kids, because there is something beautiful and pure in children. And I feel that once people see that, they will be convicted or moved to give back. So that was my main advocacy.
Aside from the youth in Tondo, Gray also supports the HIV/AIDS awareness campaign, which provides free testing, counseling, and public awareness about the autoimmune disease. Gray believes there is not enough education and access to resources and procedure against HIV/AIDS in remote areas in the country. Gray has revealed during a post-pageant conference that this cause is close to her heart as she lost a dear friend to HIV/AIDS years ago.
I put out those videos because, that is the main thing that I want to do, to encourage people just to get tested. And also encourage our government to make more testing centers and resources available to the different far-flung areas.
Gray says she has been working on these projects for 3 years now, and being given the opportunity to be part of the campaign is already fulfilling.
And I feel like I've been given a big microphone, which is amazing. It fulfills me so much that I have this opportunity, and I always want to use it to further my cause.
Born Katriona Elisa Magnayan Gray on January 6, 1994, Miss Universe Philippines is a Filipino-Australian television host, singer, and model prior to becoming a beauty queen. Before she was crowned Miss Universe Philippines 2018, she won the Miss World Philippines in 2016 and represented the country in the Miss World 2016 in Washington, D.C. in the U.S., where she landed as third runner-up. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue, Bangkok, Thailand.
Up next on Y News.
I've been open to it because if it will prolong the life, ease the pain of those cancer patients and those in pain and relieve their agony, why not?
Lawmakers open to tackle the proposed legalization of medical marijuana. President Rodrigo Duterte to sign a bill abolishing road board once submitted to his office. And know why Katriona Gray wore red dress at the Miss Universe coronation night. Thank you for keeping me company in the first part of Y News. More reasons behind the stories with Angelo Castro III and William Thio after this quick break. I'm Rheena Villamor-Camara. Good evening.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up from where Rheena Villamor-Camara left off. I'm Angelo Castro III, and here are the headlines. Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol says the supply of NFA rice in local markets will become unavailable once the tariffication bill is enacted into law.
I've been open to it because if it will prolong the life, ease the pain of those cancer patients and those in pain and relieve their agony, why not?
Lawmakers are open to tackle the proposed legalization of medical marijuana. And Malacanang bars Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno from attending House inquiry on the 2019 proposed national budget. Some lawmakers are open to tackle the proposed legalization of medical marijuana, but Senate President Vicente Soto III says there is no need to pass another law for the use of medical marijuana. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
Senate Committee on Health and Demography Chairperson Senator Joseph Victor Ejercito is open to tackle the proposed legalization of marijuana as medical use.
I've been open to it because if it will prolong the life, ease the pain of those cancer patients and those in pain and relieve their agony, why not?
Some senators are also open to hear the debate on the issue. According to Senator Panfilo Lacson, he is open to this proposal but not for recreational purposes. Even some lawmakers in the lower house believe that the statement of Miss Universe Katriona Gray regarding the use of medical marijuana may help in the passage of the bill. According to Kabayan Party List Representative Ron Salo, one of the authors of House Bill number 6517, cannabis may help patients with severe seizure, muscle aches, and others. The proposed bill has already been approved in the committee level. But according to Senate President Vicente Soto III, there is no need to pass another law for the use of medical marijuana. He explained that under the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs of 2002 that he authored, there is a policy regarding the regulation of use of dangerous drugs for legitimate medical needs. According to Soto, a patient or his or her relative just has to go to the Food and Drugs Administration to ask for what is called a compassionate special permit.
In the Dangerous Drugs Act, combined with the FDA circular, we have a compassionate use provision. It's allowed already. So what are they talking about? They just don't know the law. Meron na ba kayo nabalitaan na ang PNP hinuli ang medical marijuana? Wala. Dahil hindi bawal eh.
Senate President clarifies, however, that usage of marijuana as recreational use is strictly prohibited by law. Planting of marijuana is also prohibited in the Philippines, given that the country is one of the signatories in the United Nations Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs of 1961. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
The Department of Justice believes the proposal to legalize marijuana for medical purposes still needs further study. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara said in a statement that they are yet to have a stand on the issue, though they are open to providing inputs on the matter together with the Department of Health. Guevara made the statement following Miss Universe 2018's Katriona Gray's remarks, expressing support for the legalization of medical marijuana during the first question and answer portion of the pageant in Bangkok, Thailand. Currently, House Bill number 6517, or the proposed Philippine Compassionate Medical Cannabis Act, is pending before the House of Representatives. It seeks to legalize medical marijuana for patients suffering from debilitating conditions such as multiple sclerosis and seizures. Marijuana is presently classified as a dangerous and illegal drug under Republic Act 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act. The Duterte administration's war on drugs has already killed more than 5,000 drug suspects as of November 30, 2018. Data from the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency have shown that of the 115,000 anti-illegal drug operations launched since July 1, 2016, around 5,050 were killed after resisting arrest. More than 164,000 drug suspects were arrested and around 1,800 minors who were used as drug peddlers and runners were rescued from drug dens during operations. Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol reveals that the supply of NFA rice may no longer become available in local markets once the rice tarification bill is enacted into law. Ray Pelayo tells us why.
The lowest price of rice in local markets today can be bought at 27 and 32 pesos per kilogram, the cheapest price that the National Food Authority can offer. But according to Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol, once the rice tarification bill is enacted into law, the NFA would have no choice but to buy rice from the local farmers instead of pushing for rice importation. Piñol explains that the proposed legislature will remove NFA's regulatory and importation functions and will only serve as keeper of the buffer stocks from domestic farmers for use in time of calamities and other emergencies. This means that the low-priced NFA rice will no longer be available in the market.
But one thing is certain, there will be no more 27 peso rice. Hindi rin sigurado kung makakaroon pa ng continuous na pagbebenta ng NFA rice sa merkado because the role of the NFA now in that proposed act that will be signed by the President is that of a buffer stocking agency.
The proposed act will also lift import restriction on commercial rice and will only allow certain amount of tariff or duties. As of press time, Piñol assured that the NFA's imported rice stocks are still enough for the next 3 months. The Agriculture Secretary added that the government has allocated 10 billion peso annual budget intended for farmers' subsidy to help them minimize production costs while they increase their yield. The budget also covers free seed and agriculture machineries. Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture assures to carry on with the implementation of suggested retail price on rice under the Price Act to prevent price increase. Piñol stressed, however, that the government might still incur losses should it decide to pursue with the rice subsidy plan.
Kung 2070 ang bili namin ng bigas, hindi pwedeng ibenta namin ng 27. Kung ayaw naman mapalugi. Pero, the national government can still tell the NFA, okay, mapalugi kayo. Bili nyo at 2070, benta nyo 27, subsidize namin yung remaining. That could still be possible.
Meanwhile, consumer group Laban Consumer President Attorney Vic Dimagiba believes that it is untimely to remove the NFA rice in local markets considering that 30% of the country's population consumes the said low-price staple apart from the possible rise in inflation. He calls the proposed Rice Tariffication Act as anti-poor. Therefore, the President should reconsider before signing it. As of press time, the bill is just awaiting the signature of President Rodrigo Duterte. Ray Pilayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The House of Representatives is set to resume in January its deliberations on the 2019 proposed national budget. However, Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno will no longer attend the next hearing, according to Malacanang. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
The House of Representatives has set its next hearing on January 3, 2019 in Naga City on the alleged 75 billion pesos insertion in the budget of the Department of Public Works and Highways, as well as the unexplained delegation of multi-billion pesos infrastructure projects to a single contractor in Sorsogon. Earlier reports said that Congress plans to invite Budget Secretary Benjamin Diokno to the hearing again. However, Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo says Diokno will no longer attend because of the rude treatment he received during the question hour at the lower house last week. Malacanang presumes it is President Rodrigo Duterte himself who prohibited Diokno from attending the inquiry.
The base would be the rude treatment that he has received. And another reason is that if you will be submitting questions to the resource person, you'll not be asking them, so what's the use of going there?
Malacanang also believes the allegations raised by some congressmen against Diokno are just diversionary tactics after Senator Panfilo Lacson revealed the alleged pork barrel insertions in the 2019 proposed budget.
It was skirting the issue. Instead of him on the hot seat, them, it's now Secretary Diokno.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Malacanang says President Rodrigo Duterte will sign the bill abolishing the road board once submitted to his office. The Senate supports this as the board is only tainted with alleged irregularities. However, some congressmen are against this. Liz Casim will tell us why.
Abolishing the road board has long been the position of President Rodrigo Duterte. Malacanang says once the bill is transmitted to the office of the chief executive, the president will sign it.
So we're saying now that once transmitted, the president will sign the bill abolishing the road board.
Yes, that has been the position.
How soon are we going to do this, sir?
As soon as it is given to him.
While the Senate supports this, the House of Representatives made a motion to rescind the approval of the proposed road board abolition in September. Senate President Vicente Soto III said they already adopted the version of the lower house and immediately approved it. The Senate's position on the matter will remain because some senators believe the road board is tainted with corruption activities.
it's as good as abolished dahil hindi na i-release ng Executive Department yung funding nun. It's good as abolished. Ngayon, kung ipipilit pa rin nila, perhaps somebody should bring it to the proper venue, kung courts ang kailangan dito para i-resolve yan.
Minority Leader Danilo Suarez, on the other hand, accused several government officials to be behind the proposed road board abolition. Based on the report he got, former government officials threatened the board if it will refuse to release fund for the district these officials represented. The House minority is against the abolition of the road board because some government services will lose funds.
Pakialam na dyan sa fund. But sinabi lang nila sa amin na they were being asked by some leaders to dedicate X amount of the money, which is about, by that time, nasa 40 billion, for some of their parking project. Yung gusto nila maglagay ng project sa iba't ibang lugar. Pag inabolish mo ang road board, mawawala din naman yung certain dedicated funds to address pollution, safety.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Malacanang will let the Supreme Court decide on the legality of the Bangsamoro Organic Law after a group of 1987 Constitution framers asked the High Court to declare it unconstitutional and void. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo made this statement after the Philippine Constitution Association, or PhilConsa, filed a petition questioning the constitutionality of the law which forms the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. PhilConsa argued that the BOL violates the 1987 Constitution, as only an amendment to the charter would allow the creation of a new autonomous region. The group also claimed that Congress committed grave abuse of discretion when it passed the measure. PhilConsa has listed Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea, Senate President Vicente Soto III, and House Speaker Gloria Arroyo as respondents to the petition. This is the second petition against the BOL to be filed before the SC.
And I will defer to the decision of the Supreme Court. We would not make any comment on that because it's now pending before the court.
Another Wishcovery bid goodbye as the third weekly eliminations of Wishcovery Season 2, the singer and the song, begins. Robbie de Guzman will tell us why.
Three Wishcoveries of Camp Rani Raimundo battled for a spot in the next round of Wishcovery Season 2, the singer and the song last night. Wishcoveries who are lucky to continue their Wishcovery journey are Arya Lami Apalis,
at bilang kanlungan mo, akong sasagip sa'yo.
and Jemmy Pacardal.
Biyernes ay puno ng pagmamahalan. Ang puso natin ay sadya.
Meanwhile, John Marcos Pangilinan exited the competition.
I'll never go far away from you. Even the sky will tell you that I need you so.
A wonderful singer. Do not ever give up. Continue to sing. Get out of the box. Be daring.
I'm still grateful kasi having known na napili ako isa sa mga 12 dito sa Luzon 1. And I'm really grateful na kasi yun nga, you just have to keep moving kasi at the end of the day, doesn't mean you were so-called eliminated, the journey stops there.
Meanwhile, the battle is on for the Wishcoveries of Camp Junji Marcelo for the third round of eliminations tonight. Robbie de Guzman, UNTV, News and Rescue.
Up next on Y News.
Time's running out. Please help us get my family together again.
Father of a dying child pleads with authorities to allow mother into the U.S. despite the travel ban. Japan is set to allocate $40 million to make flying cars a reality. And know why Miss 2018 Miss Universe Katriona Gray chose to wear a red dress at the pageant's coronation night. Those are the reasons behind the stories in the second part of our newscast. Y News returns with William Thio. I'm Angelo, Castro III. Good evening.